Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the One True Divine Feminine and Psychic Investigations Tarot. So glad you could join me. Really sending light and love and angelic vibes across the universe today, because shouldn't that be what it's all about? You know, just the beauty, the light, the love, the upliftment, all of the good things that our Creator has for us, for each and every one of us, no matter what our belief system, even if we're atheists, whether we're men or women, doesn't matter what our color or race, any of that, just the light and love and beauty and angelic vibes. Isn't that great? I love it when we have that. Now, when we don't have that, I have a special salute. This is a salute from Utah. This is to the cheap bricklayers who don't seem to have that light and love in their hearts for women. But it's just a special little cactus. I thought you might enjoy that. And maybe you could find a way to love women eventually in your hearts instead of abusing women. All right, just a thought. But hey, isn't that a classy cactus right there? I know, I love it so much. All right, with that, God bless everybody. Hope everybody's learning. Today, we're really just going to talk about a low vibing Neptune and what it can do in the eighth house when it's not operating properly. Again, we went through the whole series of when Neptune's on a high vibe, and we know that's how we connect to the divine, the beautiful deity, the one that's filled with light and love and angelic vibes and wants to lift everybody up. But today we're going to talk about when it's, not operating quite as well as it should. And this is going to be about Neptune on a low vibe in the eighth house. And the eighth house is really a packed house. It's kind of like a great maw, an abyss, and it holds such potent, life-changing things inside of its realms. It can literally destroy you entirely or enable you to transcend. And that's very much an eighth house thing. Surviving difficult transits here is like the ocean spitting out a drowning victim, from the clutches of an enormous wave. What you experience will alter your mindset completely and also alter your spiritual DNA. You will hit the opposite shore if you survive all the sea monsters there, gasping for breath, glad to be alive, feeling reborn. That is, of course, if you survive. And not everybody does survive eighth house transits. Now, cataclysmic events certainly tend to swirl around this house as if it were the eye of a great and powerful storm. Survive what arises here, and it becomes a gateway for transformation. And Scorpio definitely is all about transformation, and also has much to do with power-hungry Pluto and the undersidedness and seediness of Pluto. So what are some of the mysteries that are held within the eighth house? Life and even death itself, sometimes also suicide, sex, intimacy, how we bond with others lurks here too. And since the darker elements of intimacy can emerge because Pluto and Scorpio are both skulking about in this house, whether it falls in your chart or not, it's ruled by those things. Those close encounters could include some obsessions, domination schemes, and various taboos and fetishes. Okay, and remember, this is the low vibe. Now, huge life events that create a rift in the fabric of your life also swarm the eighth house. But the Plutonian goal is not to destroy you, but to teach you how to overcome. And, sometimes I overcome with humor, but I am overcoming. And I think a lot of you are going to jail anyhow, so it's all going to work out in the long run. So Plutonian goal is not to destroy you, but to teach you how to overcome. And it gets complicated, though, because this is a house where we really tangle and intermingle with others emotionally, sexually, and even in various business adventures, all of which can become quite enmeshed and all-encompassing with Neptune here. Taxes and other people's money also revolves around this house, as are all shared resources that we have among close partners. Okay, now since Neptune tends to break down boundaries and egos, it can encourage merging on a soul level, but the real lesson of this placement is to be discerning regarding who you invite into your most intimate circles in bed. If you are not careful, for example, sex workers and other unsavory characters could readily parade into your bedroom and otherwise invade your privacy with gossip by listening to your most intimate secrets and then spreading them around willy nilly. Now, the eighth house can be a very transcendent place, and surely this can occur with the right partner. Neptune in the eighth could also cause a person to be confused about their sexual orientation, so bi relationships are possible. For others, love fantasies will drift endlessly through their dreams as they conjure up images of the perfect lover. Others yet will elect to be chaste as a form of a spiritual practice. Some yogis come to mind in this regard. They channel the energy for other things. For the less chaste, an endless stream of tantric sex partners could also drift through the house of intimacy. And though this can get rather chaotic for some of those people, this will be viewed as a very spiritual practice. Now, the eighth house, and I love the eighth house. I love all the mystery houses. Why? Because it's a place where the veil gets very thin, especially when Neptune resides there. So it gives you the ability to see behind the veil. Piercing that veil becomes important with this dreamy planet because you're going to want to lose yourself in chanting and prayer and meditation or dream work. At the same time, an unbalanced Neptune here could also usher in false prophets, people that whisper in your ear of salvation, yet don't know anything about how to get you there. Since psychological issues can also swamp this house, there will be a strong desire to escape from the harsh realities in some fashion or another. Some will turn to, pot. Others will drown their sorrows with pills and booze. So this is my obsession card or possession card. So the things that kind of overtake your mind and run you into the ground, so to speak. Now, since this is a house of intimacy, sharing your thoughts and feelings with a close partner is also highlighted. Just be careful who you choose to unburden your troubles to, right? Whispered pillow talk, if you are not selective or find yourself wearing rose-colored glasses, which is very much a Neptunian thing when it comes to a partner, can bring disastrous results, delivering you into betrayals. It could also encourage you to connect to seedy, unsavory, unreliable people, kind of wild energy here with this card, who are more than happy to lead you astray in regards to love and even business partnerships. Those who enter opium dens to drown their troubles and never come out are certainly among many eighth house tragedies that can occur when Neptune is in a low vibe and is at the helm. And I did travel through Asia with my backpack, and there were opium dens around. And let me tell you, it doesn't look good. It does possess a person's soul. They get very addicted and they lose their entire lives to that substance. Now, when it comes to shared resources, Neptune here can lend itself to being very gullible. A close partner whom you share resources with could readily pull the wool over your eyes, causing a failure to happen financially. Business deals, shared bank accounts, and other resources like real estate proposals need to be written out very clearly and carefully and communicated well to all partners to avoid upsets and scams. It's imperative to pay scrupulous attention to details now, for Neptune will surely be muddying the waters. And you can see there's the coins there, and it looks like they're just all in muck, right? So You have to be so careful with Neptune in the eighth with business deals. Otherwise, you're going to end up embroiled with all kinds of scams and proposals that basically leave you feeling upside down and empty and with nothing but illusions and delusions in the wake. Okay. Difficulties with wills and inheritances could also pop up. So pay attention not only to what matters to you, but to those you are closest to. If you aren't discerning, you may merge resources with someone who scams you down to the last dime while they hide behind a mask, just like you see here. In so many ways, the eighth house is a place where we can lose ourselves one way or the other. Now, death can also lurk in the shadows of the eighth house, and often when a person dies, there are indications in this particular house. Violent or drug-induced murders can sometimes be seen in this veiled house of the underworld. Okay, here you see a woman turning into a zombie from what looks like smoking meth or something like that. Helping others through the dying process, okay, is also very much an eighth house issue. So, Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross helped many terminally ill patients die peacefully when her Neptune was passing through her eighth house. And at the same time during that transit, and I can't remember, it takes many years for it to go through 712, something like that. She even wrote a book about what she learned regarding the death mysteries at this time. Now, even our own deaths can sometimes be witnessed in this house through a variety of simple alignments. Certainly, poisonings and drug overdoses are possible as Neptune swims through these waters. Occult-linked deaths and ritual sacrifices could also occur. To overcome suffering and return to the source, dipping yourselves back into the oneness of the ocean there. Neptune here will elect, some people with this will elect to end their own lives, basically to put out the fire that they have going on in their minds in a hope that they can reincarnate in some happier, more peaceful fashion. So again, this has a lot to do with what other planetary alignments are happening, as well as what's on the sign of the cusp of the eighth house. All right, so you do have the possibility of drownings, and even also maladies and diseases of the blood or lymph system that could occur when, like Scorpio or Pisces or Cancer is on the eighth house sign. If a fire sign resides here, instead, the death could be more sudden, like in the case of Aries, like a shooting or a burning down of the house with you in it, for example. Sagittarius could equate to someone being killed because of their faith, for example. You might find a Leo dying of a heart attack with this placement. It all depends on, what's aligned for you with the sign on the cusp. Now, various earth signs could bring other maladies. Eating oneself to death or diabetes could be a very Taurian end, for example, because Taurus loves what it loves and it loves more and more and more of it, right? And Taurus and Capricorn and Virgo are all earth signs. So other ways that a person could end here would be maybe getting crushed by a falling building or possibly even in a landslide. Now, air sign cuspers with Neptune in this house, like say Aquarius, could possibly experience dementia. Here you can see sort of the crazy energy coming out of this woman's head. Or you might possibly have respiratory ailments if you are a Gemini. And I know this one's kind of macabre, but again, this is how astrology works. You put all the things together. Someone with this symbology could have their hands whacked off by the mafia, for example, because Gemini rules the hands. Now, for Libras, friends and addictive substances could prove to be your undoing. You actually will find that many war Nazi war criminals end up with Neptune conjunct Saturn in this house at the time of their death, showing that when they left this earth, their souls were most noted for committing crimes against humanity. And it's my view that we end up with this death chart, and it's like the imprinting of what your soul did and learned, and the biggest things that you went through, good, bad, or otherwise, and that all gets reviewed. And then the next life you're born into circumstances to learn what you needed to learn from that example. So having, crimes against humanity, I think that then some of the atrocities we experience on earth happen because then God turns the tables and the wheel, and now you are the victim of those exact kinds of crimes. And in uncanny fashion, many war Nazi criminals have this same configuration. Now, whatever it is that you face in the eighth, it will either bring you closer to God, and you can see this woman is trying to draw in, heavenly earth or chi through the cosmos. She's trying to bring in that spiritual awareness and information. So you'll either try to get closer to God by what goes down in the eighth house when Neptune is here, or it's going to leave you gasping for air. Whoops, deluge. Well, you can do it upside down because it is a deluge, right? It brings in a huge storm, and you will be praying literally for relief and transformation. The eighth house is a packed house, my friends. All right. Hope everybody's doing well. God bless. Hope nobody's suffering too much. Sorry for my little joke, but it's just a cactus, right? But that's for torturing women. You kind of got that one coming. So, all right. I wish you all peace and blessings in the universe. Here, we like light, love, beauty. Everybody welcome. Happy vibes, angelic vibes. Everybody gets treated decently and equally, unless you try to kill someone or poison their family or steal from them. But we try to uplift people here. Now, isn't that a great idea? Just think if we had everybody who was working on uplifting everybody instead of trying to hold people down and snuff their lights out. Wouldn't that be a great world? All right. God bless. Have a great day and peace to you.